I'll show you the visuals what's happening out here at Air Force Station Jodhpur, where shortly from now Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be arriving, and you can see the LCH that has been placed out here that will be inducted formally into the Indian Air Force, and along with this 3 more. So total 4 LCH aircrafts will be inducted today in the ceremony when Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh arrives here after a Sarv Dharm Pratna Sabha. You can see the priests of all the religions who are already here, and that's the tradition. Whenever an aircraft is inducted into the service, all 4 religions, all the religions are welcoming this in their own way. You can see in this LCH the weapon systems have already been integrated. The rocket pods have already been placed. There can be 70 12 rocket pods that can be integrated with LCH. Then we have Mistral missile that has come from France that can be integrated with LCH, the light combat helicopter, the Atmanirbhar Bharat strength. And the most important fact about LCH is the light weight. The combat helicopter weighs around 5.8 tons. That happens to be one of the lightest aircrafts in this category. If we talk about Apache, it weighs 10 tons. Apache comes from America. And we have 22 Apache helicopters. And before LCH, if we talk about the dependence, we depended upon Mi-35, Mi-25 helicopters, and now soon they'll be replaced with these Swadeshi combat helicopters, the attack helicopters that stand out in the world. And now India happens to be one of those 7 countries that have the capability of developing their own LCH, the light combat helicopter. And if we talk about this particular attack helicopter, this has already been tried and tested in high altitude region in Ladakh and also in desert areas where the temperatures are quite high. So the survivability is very good. It can survive in any kind of weather, and it is a tailor-made helicopter that has been designed according to the needs of Indian Air Force, Indian services, and that is why it is the most successful light combat helicopter that has been designed in India so far. And exactly a month back, we had seen how Prime Minister Narendra Modi had commissioned INS Vikrant, the first indigenous aircraft carrier built in India, into Indian Navy. And exactly after a month now, we see the LCH is being inducted into Indian Air Force, giving it more firepower, giving it more teeth, increasing the squadron strength. And if we talk about the numbers, the HAL intends to make around 95 such LCH aircrafts for Indian Army and more than 50 aircrafts for Indian Air Force, and the strength will keep on going up. And in the coming years, the Indian Air Force's squadron strength that right now stands at around 32 to 33 will come up to 42. That is the desired strength. And the old aircrafts, the MiG-21s, need to be retired. The 1 squadron has already been retired. 3 more are left. So as we'll see the attack helicopters out here going up in strength, the LCA Tejas going up in strength, we'll see the old aircrafts will be retiring. They'll be number plated, and India's strength will go on with Atmanirbharta, with the power of self-reliance. And that's how you see what's happening out here. And when Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will arrive here, he'll not only perform the puja ceremony, but he'll also take a sortie in LCH. He'll be flying in this aircraft along with the commanding officer of this unit, the 143 helicopter unit that is going to be raised today after this grand ceremony. And a water cannon salute will also be done for welcome these combat helicopters into these services. And that's the tradition goes. Whenever a new aircraft is being inducted, it is welcomed with a water cannon salute, and that's what we'll witness out here in a short while from now. So Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh will be here, Chief of Air Staff will be here, all the senior officials of Jodhpur Air Force Station will be here. They'll be welcoming LCH, the light combat helicopter, into Indian Air Force, and that is a big feat for India today.
Well, absolutely, Shivani, and we can see that spectacular scene right behind you, the LCH, Made in India LCH. Of course, we are hoping that the process of indigenization does continue, because not every part of this has been made in India. However, it has been fully assembled in India. But Shivani, you must explain to us the significance of the LCH in the eastern Ladakh sector, because we've already seen this being deployed and being used there about 2 years back against the PLA. How was its performance?
Correct. See, I'll keep showing you the visuals as we talk. When we talk about India's situation, India is in a never-before-like situation, be it on the northern borders or on the western border too. If we talk about Ladakh sector, where India is in a standoff with China, and it's been over 2 years now, though we have been negotiating, but the strength on ground is also being enhanced, not only of Indian Army, but also of Indian Air Force. We have been deploying all the assets, be it Rafales, be it LCH helicopters, and if we talk about LCH helicopter, it has already been flight tested in that terrain, and it has proved to be very successful. Because
well, in fact, sorry to interrupt you, Shivani, I'll just come back. Keep these visuals going. We have the live visuals coming in from Jodhpur Air Force Station. But Major General S.P. Sinha is also joining us here, a strategic analyst. General Saab, your first understanding of why this could be the game changer, and do we expect it to be deployed, or rather restricted to deployment in Ladakh sector, where it's already proved its might?
Today is a very historical day and a pride moment for all of us, pride moment for armed forces, pride moment for the central government, Modi's government, that they have done an exemplary job. You see, I'm aware that in previous years, 68% used to be the import content of our equipment, military equipment. 68%. And now we are in a position where we are exporting military equipment worth about 28,000 crores. So that is a sea change, because previously whenever we require equipment, the option is make or buy. Either you make it or you buy it. People never preferred make option because there was no malai, there was no kickback in that, and so they used to go in for a global tender or and procure that at a cost, which is to come to them directly or indirectly. So, but now that the LCH has come, you have to understand the significance of this LCH.
Right.
Firstly, helicopters are of many types. Helicopters are used for reconnaissance, for surveillance, for troop movement, for logistics, stores movement, and in combat role. So now that this LCH is indigenously made and it has a combat capability, it is going to increase the operational teeth of our Indian Air Force and Indian Army in critical zone in Ladakh sector against Pakistan. So that is going to be commendable. The most important thing is the cost of procurement, and thirdly is maintenance aspect. Once it is indigenous, their spares availability is going to be very, very crucial and very, very assured. I'm aware. I was involved in inventory management at Army headquarters when I was posted. And I was also posted in 5-1 Army Base Workshop, Meerut. I was there for 2 years. I'm aware that the critical items, we never got it from Russia. We had to cannibalize. So when military equipment you buy get from outside source, they twist your arms. And they ensure that a very high price they charge you. But once it is indigenous, it is a assured source of supply. It is supply chain is absolutely secured. So that is second part. Third part is the confidence and the technical capability of HL and other associated with this thing. And our local indigenous companies, industry, is going to get a fillip. So I think it is a win-win situation from many points of view. It is very commendable, and the government needs to be congratulated for this purpose. I am very proud.
General Sinha, you must explain to us. You've explained it beautifully as to why it's important that we give this big Make in India push. You also must explain to us why indigenous product is likely to be much better suited to the conditions due to which it is being specifically made.
Absolutely. You see, I'll tell you. When we buy a military equipment, that military equipment is basically has been produced keeping in mind the terrain factor of that country. But once we get it inside India, at times it is tailor-made and modified to Indian conditions. Right. But 100% modification to Indian conditions cannot be guaranteed. So that is the catch. Absolutely. But once it is developed indigenously, it is tailor-made for our terrain. Absolutely. It is tailor-made for our conditions. It is tailor-made to suit our armed forces, Air Force and Army. So everything is known. It is within house. Within house, every technical detail.
What's required is what's going to be delivered, in simpler words, isn't it? Thank you so much, General Saab, for joining us. Well, joining us now on the show, Air Marshal Retired Manmohan Bahadur. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on the show. Your understanding of how this is going to be a game changer for the Air Force. Did we need it? And where do we use it from here onwards?
Okay, thank you for getting me in. This is an aircraft which has been long in coming. And the history behind it, of course, is generally known. During the Kargil War, we tried to get the Mi-35s into those hills, but they couldn't go there because of their capability, lack of capability. And that is how the idea of the LCH was born, and HAL took it on as a request from the Indian Air Force.
That was the first time it was deployed and used, wasn't it, Air Marshal?
No, it was born after the Kargil War, and it has finally fructified after so long, maybe approximately 15 odd years. Now the point is that this aircraft is tailor-made for our hills. There is no helicopter, a combat helicopter, which can land beyond 15,000 feet and deliver armament beyond 15,000 feet. So that is a unique capability that is available in the LCH. So hence, this is where the LCH would come in handy in the hills, in Ladakh, in the glacier, and in the northeast, as also in the Sikkim side, the Doklam area, that type. So this aircraft fits into the scheme of things as far as the Indian Air Force is concerned, and for its air-to-ground role, it's tailor-made to go along with the armored formations of the Army. Plus, for doing something called the SEAD, or the suppression of enemy air defenses. So with the rockets it has, the missiles that it has, it would be deployed up front to take out the enemy air defense radars in the battle area, and sort of create a path for other aircraft to come in, go through, or destroy them, called DEAD, destruction of enemy air defenses. So it is something that the Air Force was looking for, with a two-man cockpit and the avionics that it has. It will deliver the punch.
If you could just explain to us, when you say it could deliver the punch, other than the high altitude and extreme temperatures that it has already shown that it can perform, because it already was used about 2 years back against the PLA, what really gives it that extra push which was required by the Air Force at those altitudes?
It all comes down to a question of the capability of any flying machine. This is born out of the Dhruv, the ALH. So it has the same engine, it has the same rotors, the transmission basically, but the cockpit is small. It's a two-man cockpit. That's it. And it is streamlined. It doesn't have a cargo compartment because that is not its role. So it is lighter than the ALH. So it's a dedicated one for that mission. And hence it was deployed upfront during the Ladakh crisis. Of course, it was not used because it never came to a shooting war. But that's where it comes in.
For the first time, at least, it was deployed at that time. But thank you so much, Air Vice Marshal Manmohan Bahadur, for speaking to us and explaining to us as to why this is going to add so much to us.